Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. All those that are invisible are filled with Brahman. All those that are visible are also fully permeated by Brahman. The whole universe has come out of the whole Brahman. Brahman is still full, although the whole universe has come out of it. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So we are reading Shwetashwatara Upanishad, and it's a very climax point of Upanishadic statement. These are verses where we can meditate upon. It is a contemplative type of Upanishadic verses. We have heard the ideas are the same, repeated again and again. The same idea, you may think that it is redundant or it is double, it is duplicate, but that is repetition is the one path for Vedanta student. Spiritual life is repetition, nothing else. You repeat the same mantra whole life. You say the Brahma Vedanta student will say Aham Brahmasmi whole life. Now, don't be tired with repetition. Some of our Western mind is that why to repeat? You have told it before, but your brain didn't register. It is such a serious thing that this truth is here within, and they are reminding us again and again. But we are not finding what is there in the whole Vedanta. Nothing. It is all divine. It is all Satchidananda. Or you say these are all just non-existing. Anything. All things are zero. So it says that's why we have read the verses before that every eyes are his eyes, sarvanana shiragriva. His shira is the head, griva is the neck, anana is the eyes. All these are it is his sarva bhuta bhasam. Again, he's sitting in the heart of all. Sarva vyapi, all expanded. Take this verse, one word, and just explore and explore and explore. That is called the Vedantic Nididhyasana. Repetition and thinking again and again. Sarvabhapi Sabhagavan. He is called the Bhagavan. Tasmat Sarvagata Shiva. And from that has come that Shiva, all auspiciousness, who permeates everywhere. So if you know this, then what you need for another verse to read? No, it is done. But it does not register us. We only say this. But can you practice every day? Sarvo anana. Your eyes I am seeing. You rise, this eyes, this eyes. Sarva sira, all the heads, all the necks, and sitting in the heart of all. Just it is a deep contemplative practice by keeping the eyes open like that. You can see, but you can think this way, then your seeing becomes meditation. So these Upanishadic verses are very, very profound. Only we have to know how to look at the thing. We look at the same thing. I am seeing, looking at your eyes. But I am never thinking that Sarvanana Shiragriva, all the eyes are his eyes. He is seeing. He himself have made him separated. One seer and a sin. So to instrument he has prepared this seeing instrument. But it's whatever we are seeing, it is all his eyes. So just again and again thinking this. And he is sitting and animating this body, movement of the body, all these actions, reactions. They are all he seated in the heart. Sarva, Sarva Bhuto Guhasayo, Sarva Vyapi. He permits everything, good, bad, And whatever we see, whatever we don't see. And he is Bhagavan, he is the controller, God, Lord, Creator, and he is called Sarvagato, all interpenetrated in everything, and he is all auspiciousness. If one thinks of that, that mind will be pure and auspicious. Mahan Prabhu, uh, he is the Mahan, the Lord, is the Prabhu, the mighty God controlling everything. Purushaha is the consciousness inside. Satyaseva Pravartaka is prompting or forcing our understanding, our buddhi. Eh? Pravartaka Satya, Satya is buddhi. He dictates our buddhi. Eh? Actually, we think I am thinking. Yes, so long I have the body consciousness, I love to say I am thinking. But in spiritual sense, I is not there. I is a wrong concept. It is just your misconception. What you say, I. Sunirmalamimam praptim. It is Sunirmal. It is the purest of the pure when one achieved Jyoti Rabbayaha. It is the light he falls in Jyoti. And it stays in the heart of all Angustamatra Purusho Antaratma Sada Jananam Hridaya Sannivishto. It's a verses very beautiful verses to memorize even. Angustamatra Purusho Antaratma, that Purusho, that consciousness is residing in the heart. Why in the heart? It is an embodiment like a small area as it were, but it is residence. Governor's residence is in the heart. Lord God, the governor of the entire universe, he resides in the heart. And Sada Jananam Sada, he does not just live now. No moment he goes away. And Siddha Manisha, by the Manonsil people, the people of intelligence, deep intelligence, people who are contemplative people, they contemplate by the help of the mind, they try to understand and realize. Jabidu, who can succeed in realizing that truth, te amritaha bhavanti. Upanishad says they become immortal, they become ever established in the eternal glory. And again, he is repeating the same idea. Sahasra Sirsha Purusha. This is the beautiful verses. So in the puja time, we do that. When we are bathing the Lord, I think you are bathing the lingam or puja, whatever your item. It is that you are not one person. It is Sahasra Sirsha. And there's millions of Sahasra does not mean thousand. Here means millions, millions and millions, or mean the innumerable, better to say innumerable. Purushaha. Tell Sahasra Sirsha, Purushaha. That Purusha, that consciousness, that infinite being, having Sira, the head, millions and billions of trillions of head. Sahasra Akshars, again, millions and billions and trillions, all the ear, eyes, it is his eyes. Sahasrapat, his feet, and millions of feet. All the feet he walks, all the eyes he sees, all the head he understands or he exists. So bhuming vishwato, even in the body like that, and that bhuming vishwato vritva, permeating this whole bhumi, the earth, not it does not end there. Attatishta, and stands above. That means it is the gross, subtle, and causal, or Uma, the gross universe, the causal, subtle universe, and causal, and beyond. Atto, Oti, Atishta. Oti means covering all these realities. He stands shining above all. That means he is in the Bhuloka, he is in the Duloka space, he is in the heavenly loka, and he is beyond. Or he is in the Jagrat, waking state, whatever you see. He permeates everything what your dream world, permeates everything when your world of Susupti, and it's not ended, it is beyond. It permeates everything, but it is always beyond also. That means there is nothing but that reality. And last verse we read, it is that Navaddare Pure Dehi Hangso Leelayate Mahi is a beautiful verse to think. This body is a palace, as it were. And in a palace you go, or in a big house you go, there are many doors to enter. So Navadwar, this body has gates, nine gates, by nine apertures through which we see the world, we feel the world, we experience the world. No? Navadware. And Navadware means nine. What is the done nine there? Two eyes, uh, 2 ear, 4, 6, 7, and two excretion areas. So these are the 9, 7, 8, 9. So in this Pura, it is a Pura, it's Puri, it's a palace. Kano Bohililayate, to grab what is our external world, what is there in the outside. Bohi Lelayate, Lelayate means makes an effort. This making an effort to experience through these apertures the objects of the universe. That consciousness as if sitting, being identified with the jiva, so become limited and he wants to experience this Navadware. The same Lord becoming a jiva and jivatma. She is sthavarasya jang characharasya. Charasya. Sthavara means it is which is not moving, non-moving thing like the trees, plants, or you can say the rocks and mountains. So those are the on charasya which moves around. That means what moves around? We human being, animal world, so all the creature. And Sarvasya Lokesha Bushi, and he is the master. Bushi means controller, Prabhu, the Lord. And Hamsa, and that who resides here, he has the power to destroy the ignorance, avidya. He can destroy the ignorance, and that is who can destroy the ignorance? Only the Paramatma. So that Paramatma, that is called the Hongso. In the Ramakrishna Mission monogram, did you see? There is a Hongso. Hongso represents the Paramatma, Supreme. The two senses there, Paramatma. The Hongso is floating in the waters. Water does not stick. So Paramahamsa lives in the world but does not get entangled. But Jivatma, it gets entangled. So it is the Paramahamsa. So because it has the power to destroy the ignorance, that's why it is called Hamsa. Hamsa, and he has the, that means who is residing here, he has the power to destroy my ignorance, and also he is the Bosi, he is the Lord God of the universe. And look, what Lord God of what? All the planes we are talking about. Bhuloka, Bhuvaloka, Saroko, and beyond. He is the Lord of everything. Everything comes out of his will. Why he does like that? Sit in the again it's a play, fun. He wants to enjoy through the senses of the sense objects, through the eyes, ear, nose, etc. etc. To external. This Hangsha means this one, as we are talking about, it destroys the ignorance and the effect of ignorance, whatever the world is. That's why Shankaracharya wrote it. Hamsaha, that Hamsa means what? Paramatma, Supreme Atma. And what is that? Hunti avidyatmakam karjam. It destroys the karja, the effect, this world in which we are entangled, that it is all avidya. It has come out of ignorance. That which has come out of ignorance, it destroys everything. So Navadvare Pure Dehi. Huh? That then you say, where is your eye? You think I eat, I sleep, I will. Your eye is meaningless. Upanishad said it is the Paramatma. Paramatma is sitting here. That's why you say God. That's why you say whatever you eat, offer it to Him. And in our devotional term we call it Ahar Karo, Mune Karo, Ahuti Dei Shamamare. So Ahuti down. As you are offering oblation, so the Paramatma is here. Whatever you are eating, you eat yourself, but you think you are offering oblation to that Paramatma inside. See what transcendental experience will come. Then I am enjoying, I like this food, I don't like this food, this is the, all this foolish talk will go away. It is not me, it is the Lord who is sitting, it is given. And Brahmarpanam also the same idea. I am offering to the fire of Brahman. I am not eating, who am I? Only the fire of Brahman is there, and the food is also Brahman. It is offered to the ghee is Brahman, ladle is Brahman, with the head of a high help of a ladle, you take the ghee and catch the ghee, the hand or fork, you catch it. That is Brahman. Putting into the mouth, that is you are putting into the fire of Brahman, and when it's consumed, it becomes Brahman. So that's the all perfected consciousness given. And this music is very beautiful. Ah, Manavali, Bhajo Kali. Oh, my mind, worship Mother Kali as you wish to do. Ichha hoy tur je achare. Sayone pranam again. That song says, when you are doing lying down in the night time, taking rest, see that you are doing pranam to Mother. Because there is nothing but Mother. Nidrai karo ma ke dhyan. When you go to deep sleep or you are going to sleep, think of Mother and go, just drop yourself into Mother. নিদ্রায় করো মাকে ধ্যান আহার করো মনে করো আহুতি দেই শ্যামা মারে মন বলি ভজ কালী. So this is holistic Vedanta. You can call it Shaktivad, Shakto. People fight with that Shakto, Brahman, this, that. Just this is the one thing. There is nothing 20 things area. He is calling the Shakti Ma, he is calling Brahman. What does it matter? Brahma calling Brahma, and this song says Shakti, Mother. So what does it mean? What is the difference? Only language is different. If you feel that way, really think seriously, what is the difference? If everything is Mother, and they say Brahman, everything is Brahman. So what is the difference between this Bad, that Bad? That's why Bad means philosophy. Stand way of looking at a philosophical outlook. But Bad Bengali means what you know? Bad means delete. These are delete all these things. Then what remains? It is only Mother remains. Or you can say Ramakrishna remains. What it matters? I say Ramakrishna. You say Makali. What is the matter? You say Brahman. I can say something. What's the matter? If there is no truth, then why is he talking about that? But we are speaking in the language of duality because I am in duality. And I am trying to think that the duality is apparent. Reality is the truth. So this is the verse, very important verse. Lelayate. Lelayate means it becomes active. It is here. Navaddare puri dehi hangsho lelayate puhi. Lelayate means it is active. It becomes active, activated. That consciousness which is remaining in this calm state becomes active to experience, to perceive this thing. That's actually the Supreme Self has no movement. Satchidananda Brahman, there is no two and there is no movement. If it is moved, then it's become duality. But Paramatma, in its essential nature, is there is no action. But when he becomes Jiva, I become separate. And when I become separate, activity starts there. Perfect ocean, there is no movement. When ripple comes, that's a duality. It is becoming lelayate. Lelayate means it become activated. And activated, then ripple come, bubble come, and one ripple versus another ripple, one wave versus another wave. So all this diverse creation comes. Movement of static or movement. That means it is actually though it is nirguna, beyond gunas, beyond all activities, actions, but it is lila. It means it is playing like a lila, like lila. Lila means playing. Yeah, the playing in the duality. So this it is very important to remember that Paramatma, by Brahman, pure Paramatma, pure self, pure Brahman, is his body, no? The wave is the body of the ocean, one wave. So this is also a wave, tiny wave. But it's a wave, and it's called the individual jiva. We are all individual jiva. All individual ripples and waves on the surface of the ocean. So this individuality, which is the deha, this is merely maya. It is why maya? It is here now, it will not be there tomorrow. Which is not permanent, that's called maya. Yama, that which is not there, but appears at a point of time and disappears in another time. That's called maya. Appears now, but if you realize God now, now the duality will vanish for you. Ramakrishna is going to Samadhi means every time the duality is broken. There is no duality. When he comes down, then duality, then talking to people, giving advice and all this. But when he's going to Samadhi, this duality for him non-existing. He has no concept of anything. That's why it is Mayik, but Brahman is always eternal. That's why it is called Purinamavad and Vivartavad. It is not Purinama. Purinama means it has permanently changed. Put the milk and it becomes yogurt. Now yogurt cannot be brought back to milk. But the example of the rope and the snake, though you see the snake, you cry and weep and you run away, whatever you do, but it is rope all the time. When you are crying, that time it is rope. When you are seeing the rope nature, that also. So that unchanged. Nirguna Nirakara remains unchanged. But Jiva becomes Jiva to enjoy the world. It's called the Lila. Lelayati. Lelayati means he becomes activated and enjoys that world of duality. So that is called the Vivarta. Vivarta means not changing the original, anything, then nothing has happened, but your appearance, your conceptual idea of the object changes. So in the darkness you see snake, you can see a garden, you can see something else which is not. But when the object light is brought or you are getting to experience, then also it remains the same. Now again we are reading the verse number 3.19. What we have said, it will be the same repetition again, but these are, as I said, chant. You can memorize these verses. Apanipado javano grihita. Apanipado javano grihita. Pashyati achakshu sasinati eka karma. Pashyati achakshu sasinati eka karma. Savetti vedyam, nachotasasti svetta, nachotasasti vetta, tamahurugrang, tamahuragrang, purushang mahantam, apani pado, javano grahita. Pashyati achakshu saksinati akarna. Savetti Vedyam, Savetti Vedyam, Nachatashyasti Vetta, Shasti Vetta, Tamahuragram, Tamahuragram, Purushang Mahantam, Purushang Mahantam. It says, Sa Paramatma, that Paramatma, Apanipado. He has no hand or he has no feet. It is Jagannath. You see the Jagannath's form? As if, hand is there, but no hand. It is like cut here. And you cannot say it is hand. It is just an expression of hand. Apani Pado. The Jagannath temple is very much maybe compared with this part. Apani, he has no leg. But Jagannath, this whole world is Jagannath. He is walking through your leg every life. He has no leg of his own. He has no hand of his own, but he walks through all the hands. What a thought, no? How to expand ourselves. Javano Grihitva. Grohita. It runs faster. Huh? And he understands everything, grabs everything. That means without feet, what he does, there's no feet, there is no hand, but he runs quickly and grabs everything. This is the two ideas, no? With the feet, he runs, though he has no feet, but he runs through every feet. Though he has no hand, through hand, he grabs everything. Achakshu pashyati. He has no eyes. Then chakkanayana. No, you see Jagannath temple. You see his eyes have no eyelid. It does not blink like that. It is only chakka, round, as if minus eyelid and everything. That means he sees all the time. Achakshu pashyati. He has no chakshu, eyes, but he sees everything. What you are doing, what I am doing, he's seeing the whole activity of the whole universe. Is the Sakshi. Vedanta says, Sakshi, Cheta, Kevalo, Nirgunasya. It's a Nirguna, it's the Cheta, the consciousness, observing everything, sitting at the back of every eyes, every heart is sitting. Akarna Srinati. He has no karna, ear, but he hears every prayer. Everything you say, everything it is accepted, is understood by him. So that God, Lord, being without mind, Vedyam Vetti, he knows everything to be known. We know everything through our mind, but he has no mind, but with that he understands. Every understanding goes to him. Tasya Vetta Nasti. No one is knower of him. He knows everything. He knows every pulsation of our heart. He understands every thought that arises, every action we do. He observes everything. But there is no one to observe him. If you say, then there is logically, it will be a redundant idea. Who will be observing him? He is observed. Then who is the observer? You cannot come to a conclusion. You have to say there is one ultimate, one absolute observer. So, natasya vetta, there is no other one. There is vetta means knower of him. And that person who are talking, who runs without feet, who grabs everything without a hand, who sees not having the eyes, who hears everything without the ear, and his beyond mind knows everything. Everyone's mind, what is going on, he knows everything. That reality is called agram. Or agram means those who are agra, advanced people in spirituality. That means the rishis. Purusham, that consciousness, the people of consciousness, they say it is called the Mahantam Ahu. It's called the grand reality, Mahantam. that Purusha. So now, so what is this verse then ultimately stands? That without eyes he sees everything, without hand he grabs everything, without leg he walks everywhere, without eyes he sees everything. But being all this, he is beyond. Mind, no, there is no one knower of him. He is the ultimate knower, he is the ultimate observer. There is no other reality behind that. So here it translates without hands and feet he goes past and grasps everything. Without eyes he sees, without ears he hears. He knows whatever is to be known, yet there is none who knows him. They say he is the foremost, the greatest, and infinite being. That they means the knowers of truth. They say that this reality, he is saying he. You cannot say he is he, but you have to use some language. So the he is the foremost and the great infinite being. So the wonderful verse, as I said again. And here is some little bit ideas. Let me see what it says. The Upanishad was talking about Brahman, which is all pervaded, that has been established. Now its nature has been discussed here. And it is saying that Brahman is without senses. These eyes, ears are senses, no? Here he says Brahman has no ear, but he hears, meaning is beyond senses. To prove that Brahman is beyond senses, this language has been used that he has no hand, but he works. He has no feet, he walks in the lane. He has no eyes, he sees everything, meaning he is beyond in senses. That is the idea. Savetti Veddam, meaning Upanishad says that he can do, hear, listen, and work. And similarly, being beyond mind, everything is known to him. Vasyakar says, and Shankaracharya says, Savetti Vedyam Sarvaggatvad Amanasko, meaning that he being Sarvagga, knower of everything, Tai Amanasko, being without mind, he knows everything. That means he knows everything. So here the most interesting thing is that Brahman cannot be subject of your physical seeing. With this eyes, you cannot see Brahman. Because if you see, then it is limited. Brahman is infinite. But your eyes cannot show that's the awe, apanipadam. It's beyond eyes, beyond your senses, beyond. Why has been said awe, beyond, beyond, or not? Because it cannot be limited that way. He is the big Gata, knower of everything. So who will know him? That Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says in the Maitri Jaggavalko Samvada, Yena idang sarvang vijanati, tena kang vijaniyat, Viggata ramay are, kena vijaniyat. That means this Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, when Jaggavalka was teaching his wife Maitreyi, saying, O Maitreyi, yena idang sarvam janati, by whom this everything is known, that reality, tat kena vijaniyat, who will know that? That one reality which knows everything, who can know that reality which is the knower of everything? That means knower's knower, there cannot be any other knower. Sakshi, witness, and there cannot be another Sakshi. If that Sakshi is the Sakshi of everything, witness of everything, name and form, so there cannot be any other extra Sakshi. Tai Upanishad says, by which this universe is known, who, by which energy, which state, objective, what object one can know that big gata. So it is a very big oft quoted verse Vigyataramare Vijaniyat. Keno Vijaniyat. Who is the Vigyata, knower of everything? Who can know him? He is the knower of everything. Who can know him? That is the point. That means this is called the Brahman. You can go back, 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 back. And that is the ultimate reality Brahman. Now, again, what is that Brahman like? Again, trying to express that Brahman nature. This is also very oft-quoted verse. This also have one verse in the Upanishad also. We have such verse. Anoruniyan mahato mahiyan. Anoruniyan mahato mahiyan. Atma guhayam. Atma guhayam. Nihitasya janto. Nihitasya janto. Tamakratu pasati. Tamakratum pashyati. Vitashuko. Vitashuko. Dhatu prasadat, dhatu prasadat, mahimanamisham, mahimanamisham. Anor aniyan, anor aniyan, mahato mahiyan, mahato mahiyan, atma guhayam, nihito sajanto, nihito sajanto. Tamakratu pashyati, tamakratum pashyati, vitasoko, dhatu prasadat, dhatu prasadat, mahimanamaisham, mahimanamisham. Isham means this Paramatma, Mahima means the glory. The glory of this Isham is due to the grace, prasad. Prasad means grace. Grace of dhatu prasada. Dhatu means, yeah, dhatu means Parameshwar. By the grace of the Lord only this knowledge can come. What is that knowledge? Anuruniyan. What we are talking about Brahman, it is the finer than the finest, smaller than the smallest. You go to subatomic particle, go beyond that, and how far you can go. It is this smaller than that and vaster than the Mahato, Mahiyan, uh, stars, galaxies, and all these things is greater than the greatest. Greater than the greatest, you conceive of, smaller than the smallest. But again, being smaller of the small, greater of the great, Atma, this Atma, Guhayam, the heart, the core of the heart. Anu is a finer, Sukshma, it is Sukshmatar, Mahat, great and greater. Atma, this Atman, Jantoho, Guhayam, in the heart of the cave of the heart. Nihito means it is established. That's why it is said the day we get initiation, our Guru say, God Lord is established here today from today to give us conviction. Lord is all the time there, but we never knew. And that's why Guru reminds from today onward, feel that he is established tangibly to it here. That means feel the presence of that. So here he said, it is to be dhat and nihito guhayam. It is embedded in the heart of all. What is that truth? You can just imagine. It's the smallest and the smallest, and the vastest and the vaster, and that is the reality in your heart. So to think all these things, you forget yourself. What is your heart, little heart? What heart will be there? The smallest of the small, grandest of the grand will be there. No, so your heart is dissolved into that, and that is your. But feeling center. That's why it is called heart. When you experience God realization, you feel tremendous joy. It starts from here. Dhatu prasadat, by the grace of the Lord, akratum, those who are krotu rahit, akratu. Krotu means jagna. The performers are karmakanda. Those who do karmakanda to gain some material benefit, that karmakanda akratu means those who don't do that anymore. That means who are done with the sensory objects of the world, because that are no more any value to that person, because he has raised his consciousness too high, that seeing that is finer than the finest, vaster than the vastest, and is sitting in my heart and the cave of my heart, and not only my heart, in all the created beings. So, if you can understand that Dhatu Prasada, by the grace of God or grace of Supreme Lord, Akratum Tam, that that mind which is free from any desire of any enjoyment through the limitation. We enjoy through the eyes, ear, nose, etc. All what is limited. When you are tired of tasting, touching, and getting this limited joy, then their mind is free. Come with that, by God's grace, when mind becomes free from all this attachment to the objects, tam means that Atman which is embedded in the heart, Mahimanam. Mahima means grand, great. That means where there is no effect of karma. Karma cannot increase it, karma cannot decrease it. Beyond karma. Isham, who is the Parameswaram, Pashyati, they see face to face this reality, which is the cause of Bita Soka. And they become, they go beyond Soka, Bigata Soka, bereavement, loss. They have nothing to lose because they got everything. By giving up petty things, they enter into their inner heart, and that is the smallest of the smallest, bigger than the biggest. In that bigger scale, everything is included. In the smallest of the small, there is a sin included. So he lives in that absolute consciousness, and then he becomes free from all suffering, all duality.
So they have translated prasad as grace, but prasad is know that consecrated food. So how consecrated food can become grace?
Yeah, that makes your mind pure, as he's saying. This also does mind free from, and if you think that what you are eating, God's grace has fallen on the food, and his glance has touched the food to plate, as Ramakrishna saw, and you are taking that food, that pure food will purify the mind, purify the body, purify the mind, purify our intellect, purify our ego, and then you'll be able to see this Parameshwar. It is only impure mind does not allow us to see, but that time you'll feel that, and that reality is here itself, and that is becoming pure. Pure means what? He is always pure. It is not coming to our awareness because of our mind. So when your mind becomes pure, ahara shuddha, sattva shuddhi. Sattva means buddhi. When you take food, consecrated food, offered food, then that pure food will create pure mind. And then pure mind will create pure buddhi, pure understanding. And pure understanding will lead us to God and God only. And that ultimately, uh, perfect peace means Brahman. But ultimately, Dhatu Prasadat is very important. Dhatu Prasadat means by God's grace. See, after saying so many things, is adding Dhatu Prasadat. Dhatu does not mean no any other meaning, but Shankaracharya made meaning Dhatu means Parameshwar. Dhatu Prasadat means the grace of Parameshwar. Shankaracharya says Dhatu means Parameshwar. Dhatu Prasada, that means Indriya, senses, mon, mind, buddhi, becomes calm then, and that become peaceful. Dhatu means Dhatara, Dhata means Ishwar, God. So Dhata means then Sankara, Dhatu Prasada means Kripa. Dhatu. And Dhatu Prasada, though we mean in the literal normal sense something else, but here Dhatu means the Prasad, Ishwar, Kripa, Karuna. Tang Mahimanam, that the glory of the Atman can be understood, that it is beyond all loss and gain, it is beyond on any duality, it is above all, Suddha, pure, Chaitanya Sarup. This essential meaning of this verse is that in every heart, that the Lord God, who is the supreme self, is the who resides in the heart of all, is finer than the finest and also greater than the greatest. By His grace only, when mind becomes undisturbed and perfectly peaceful, then the Sarupa, the whole nature can be experienced. And experiencing that, the ordinary spiritual aspirant become free from all shock of bereavement and suffering. And when mind becomes perfectly calm, that is the dhyana state. And then by meditation, dhyana only, that you can realize your own glory. That's why it is considered that your mind should be stable, your senses should be withdrawn. That means it is with but all you can try. Nirantar vichar. All the time you can do analysis, you can study, and you can do spiritual practice. But those whose mind is not pure, this Atma Sarupam, this real nature will not be revealed. That means purification of the mind. Purification of the mind is the major point. That also Ramakrishna said, also your own grace of your mind is God's grace is necessary. And here we have to understand our own grace is necessary. I will not do anything, God will do everything. Huh? Some people say, God is the doer, so His grace will help me. God's grace will help us. Our grace is also necessary. Ramakrishna used to say, আমি জানি যে মন্তর, the mantra I know, দিলাম তোরে সেই মন্ত্র. I am offering that mantra to you. এখন মন্তর, now mind is yours. I know the mantra I have given you. No? Guru gives us mantra. And I said, I know that mantra I have given you to that. এখন now your mind should repeat that. And now your mind is the business. If your mind cooperates, then you will have that mantra meaningful and purposeful. No? Therefore, God's grace is necessary and our mind's grace is necessary. Therefore, every day, that's why we pray, Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Let our mind be directed, buddhi be directed towards it. Oh. Now, another 10 minutes are there. Is there anything online? There. Okay, so let me read it. Or shall I read the other books? Let me read what they have translated. Okay, I was reading one book. We have three books, so we are reading another explanation. It says that subtler than even the subtlest and greater than the greatest, the Atman is concealed in the heart of the creatures. By the grace of the Creator, one becomes free from sorrows and desires and then realize Him as the great Lord. This is a very interesting explanation. This will get in the location Ananda Swami explains little with few words more. We read the 19 and 20, no? So 19 says, He has no hands, yet he upholds everything. He has no feet, yet he goes far. He has no eyes, yet he sees everything. He has no ears, yet he hears everything. He knows whatever there is to be known, but no one knows him. Those who know the self say he is the first of all being and also all pervasive. This self is impossible to describe. The Upanishad says that it is nirupadhika without qualities. When you say something is big, that means it is not small. You limit something when you qualify it. But Brahman is limitless, it is everything, big and small. In fact, all things together represent only a small fraction of Brahman. Because of Brahman, all things exist and can function. The Upanishad says there Upanishad says here that it has no hands, yet it can grasp. It has no feet, yet it can move. How? Because it is everywhere. I need a body, I need hands to take things, and feet to move from one place to another. But there is no place where Brahman is not. Brahman controls the entire empirical world, not to speak of the hands and feet, and is not dependent on anything. Brahman is the source of everything, the essence of everything. Achok Supashati, he has no eyes, yet he can see. When you see something, there is the element of separateness. Yet you, the seer, see an object. There are two separate elements, but in Brahman there is only one. The seer and the seen are one. He knows everything, whatever there is to be known. How? Because he is Pragnana Ghana. That is a statement in the Mandukya Upanishad. Pragnana Ghana, knowledge itself. Ordinarily, when we speak of knowledge, the question arises who is the knower and knowledge of what? But Brahman is the knower, the object of knowledge, as well as knowledge itself. In this empirical world, you are the knower and you have knowledge of such and such objects as per us. I know, and that's an object of knowledge. But from the transcendental standpoint, these are all one. They are all Brahman. Vedanta often says that Brahman is Satchidananda. He is Sat, existence itself, Chit, consciousness or intelligence. But because his nature is intelligence, there is intelligence in us. He is also Ananda, joy, bliss. We all experience joy in some way or other. It may be gross, such as from good food or from physical well being, or it may be more subtle, such as from good music, good book. But all joy comes from the same source, from Brahman. So, although all knowledge is possible because of Brahman, Brahman cannot be known yet. Why? Because he is never an object outside. Brahman is the subject and object in one. He is both the knower and the known. How can you know him? Brahman is self luminous and knowledge itself. There is a verse in Kena Upanishad says, Jasya matam tasya matam. He who says he does not know it. How does it know it? Because he knows that the knower cannot make himself the object of knowledge and object of perception. Matam means matam jasya savedasa. He who says he knows does not know, because he does not know, because he thinks he has known Brahman as an object of perception. So he cannot make the Brahman as an object of perception. Therefore, this if someone says, I know God, then you do not know God. Because you cannot know God. Knowing means subject, object, and the instrumentality, three things. The here Purusha actually means two meaning, as mentioned previously. Purusha means the indwelling spirit, innermost being residing in the heart. Another meaning is that he feels the entire space, entire universe and everything. Okay?
Yes.
And now There, this explanation is he has written quite big. They, that finer than the finest, bigger than the biggest. That he has written quite few pages, 2 3 pages. So we have no time today. So we can end here. So next day, that will be last verse of this chapter will be 21. Vedavetam. Now, after this, the Rishi declares, I have known. I am birthless, ajaram, puranam, vedahametam, ajaram. And I have no jara, old age, never aging. Puranam, I am all the time eternal. Sarvatmanam, sarvagatam. This is Vedanta meditation. Uh, Sitting there, and I am Vedaham. I have known myself, ajaram. It is without jara. The body has an old age. Body gets disease, but I am beyond all. Think about that. Concentrate on that. Then I am Puranam. I am the oldest of the old. Like that. We'll think of that next time. Nittam, Janma Nirodham, Atmanam, Sarvagatam, Vibhuttam. All this you meditate about yourself. Okay? Tomorrow is who? What is that?
Tomorrow is Chit Brahmananda
Chit Brahmananda Swami. Chit Brahmananda. Very good. Tomorrow is Chit Brahmananda Swami has come. So he came yesterday night and he will be giving the class tomorrow. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ram Krishna Panamastu.
So Maharaj, dhatu means like mamsa, medha, mancha.
But here dhatu means Paramatma, knowledge. Sankaracharya.
Because datta.
That's why what happens, we need these commentaries we need this to read Sankara and others, because normally it's apparently one meaning. But what is the inner meaning, inner significance? Only realized people can guide us.
The literal meaning dhatu is like dravya.
Maybe.
Dhatu prasadam.
Dhatu prasad. Dhatu prasad means Paramatma's prasad. Prasad of God's grace. Dhatu prasad means God's grace. But normally dhatu means, as you said, the 7 dhatus are there in the body. Medu, Majja, Osthiki, Shukra, like that. Achha, one question has come. In the physical world, I get my degree or award as per my marks. It is fair. There is no grace, so to say. Then why is it the Lord unfair? Why after it still comes down to grace? You know, you get a good grade, but it is material something. It is a limitation. You are perfected in that, you get a good grade, you can get 100 out of 100. No? Even there are good students to good out of 100. No? Gold medalist, the best toppers of their school, they get it. But Brahman is limitless. So you cannot reach that. Your tool is very small. How can you measure the infinite? Problem remains there. When you can measure within your limit, so you tried your best and 100 marks is there, you work hard and did it because it is limited. You are giving your examination in physics. So in a physics book you study, the course syllabus is given, you study such a way that you don't miss any part. So any question comes, you can proudly give the answer, no? So you can get the result because limited thing you have. But Brahman is not limited. You cannot get by your effort. Your effort will go. A point will come, you will see that you cannot make it anymore. Say, that's why to the die, that means that is the death is necessary. Death of the little ego is necessary. See the story of the frog, ocean frog, and the frog of the whale. Whale frog has to die to understand what is ocean. Ocean frog said, "Oh, I'm coming from ocean," and he said, "How big? Bigger than my well?" Well, no, no, it's much bigger. What? Then he give a big jump because he's trying to measure. But if it is limited, you can measure it. If your mathematics examination, you have done all the mathematics perfectly, 100 out of 100, yes, you can get it. But this is subject is infinite, and your tool, measurements tool, is mind, and that mind cannot measure. How can it measure beyond its level before it dies? That's why you want to jump. The frog tried to give third jump when he gave. Is this big? Then he understood by dying that it cannot be measured. Atman cannot be. I think that is the reason why this question has come.
It wants to see your face.
Oh, this is the magic. So there is the grace is necessary because I cannot do that with my own effort. So that's why grace is necessary. And the grace comes. It's not that you have to blame God that God is not gracious. But I have not exhausted my energy. The Are we really exhausted our prayers and meditation? As much as I can do and I cannot do anything more. That time it is Ramakrishna went into that state. He thought that he did and tried and cried and wept days after days, whole day, the whole night. How we spend our day and night. How Ramakrishna spent it day and night. Even then, so it is not unfair in the sense of God's idea because his subject is infinite and mind is limited. Even mind becomes pure, it can grasp up to certain point. Then mind will have to die. After that, who will help us to understand? That's why it is grace to break that last point. So this is why it is considered that God's grace is essential. But don't worry about God's grace. God's grace, Ramakrishna is always there. We have to unfurl ourselves, and those who have done, then all the Brahmaganis they talk about that. Mahapurush Maharaj says, Kripa, 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 Kripa. Only grace, 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 grace. Huh? Because we do our effort, but our effort is too insufficient to achieve that highest goal of life, which is the beyond all limitation. You cannot expect the unlimited to limited. Mind is limited. How much you can think? Our mind is so limited in conceptual world, but there Vivekananda mind may be bigger, 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 but mind has to die. Vivekananda will go to Samadhi, he has to go to beyond mind. Ramakrishna to go there he has to go mind. But at that time, God's grace comes. Sri Ramakrishna was so much deeply frustrated not having the darshan, then he has to feel the time to die. And that time Mother appeared and grace came and drowned him into the infinite ocean of knowledge. If the seer cannot see itself, then does it mean that God created duality to experience himself? Yes, you can say. If there is nothing but God, then what is this universe has come? God himself has created. She says, that's why we read in the Upanishad, Eko aham, I am alone, I am one only, I'll be many, Bahushyama. So it is yes, God. God has no idea why he exists and why he is all about. No, it's for fun. He knows everything, but out of fun. You know everything on holidays. I give the common example. But you want to go to hike or travel 100 miles, 500 miles driving, no rest, driving, driving, driving. Why do you go? No, I'm enjoying my fun day, holidays. Are holidays enjoying? You are working harder than normal day. You can relax yourself, eat and see, watch the television and sleep. So God is like that. It is generally said that our consciousness decides between right and wrong. But there are instances when we do things without the understanding that we are doing wrong or sin. Can then it be said that consciousness by itself cannot guide? No, no, no. We are thinking you are making a mistake. What is the consciousness you mean? You are meaning the reflected consciousness, which is reflected in your buddhi. You do something. Why you do? Your buddhi directs you. Buddhi is what? Buddhi cannot function. Buddhi is in the buddhi. This real consciousness is reflected. That's really the chidabhasa. So that so long the mind is not a
They're asking conscience.
conscious, the conscience. That our conscience decides. Acha, conscience decides, right? Conscience is what? Same thing. Your buddhi. Conscience means your buddhi decides. I shall go this way or not that way. Or conscience, but conscience cannot work unless the consciousness reflected in your buddhi. It goes round about the same way. So it is generally said that our conscience decides. Yeah, but general term. But what explore it? What is conscience? My conscience, my mind says that it's okay. But what is that? That means your understanding about the situation or the problem as reflected in your buddhi, and as you understand that, then you move in that direction. So to understand what, then we say that you talk to God. Before taking any decision, you make your conscience purify by praying to God, and then you take action. That there will be that may not be the success as you are thinking about. That because you thought about it and you pray to the God or connected you to God and ask for their guidance, that the thing will be up to your own wish fulfilled. It may not be like that, but that is the best thing we can do. So conscience can be clarified or purified by touching the consciousness behind God. Let me read again your question. It is generally said that our conscience decides between right and wrong. But there are instances when we do things without the understanding that we are doing wrong, and because that time we don't think about. We do it at the spur of the moment, and conscience means what? It's some conscious understanding should be behind, and little thinking. We don't think. What we do afterwards, we say, "Oh, I should not have done that. I should not have said that." Why we say? Because that time we didn't give enough time to myself to purify that my direction of thinking. Can then it be said that conscience by itself cannot guide us in the right path, and it should be well supplemented with scriptural self-study and frequency? Oh, good, very good. You have to read the prayer, scriptural study always guides our conscience. When we build up, clarity of the mind comes. As the mind becomes clear, then consciousness reflects there. It will be right understanding. That is the process to purify. And a point will come when we will be so pure, and whatever comes in your mind will be true. That is the Ramakrishna's elder brother. He was such a yogi. Whatever comes out of mouth, it will happen. So truth will follow them because they are established in the truth that way. So consciousness, our conscience can be purified by prayer, study, and doing other spiritual practices. Satsanga, as you write. Thank you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Oh, Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamustu. So tomorrow, Swami Chid Brahmananda will be speaking here at 7:30 p.m. Jai Ma.
Maharaj, does vairagya ever take the form of disgust?